James from JVC Paints. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my recently completed Romanian Army from 1941 to 1943 from Great Escape Games. And before I get into the Army and a little bit of the history surrounding it, I'm going to let you guys decide what my next bolt action project is. So if you check out at the bottom where I put in the links and the timestamps for this video, I've got a list of some of the armies I'm interested in painting. So what I thought I'd do is I'd let you guys decide which army I'll order. So yeah, if you can check that out, and then in the comments below, let me know which army you think I should get on to next. So I'll stop right here, and we'll get into a little bit of the history, and then we'll go through some of the units that I've painted up here for you guys. This is King Michael I of Romania. He was forced to abdicate in 1930, but he came back in 1940, and then he was forced to abdicate again in 1947 by the Soviets. So he was the monarch for the Romanians at the time that they entered into Operation Barbarossa along with the Germans and the other Axis power. This is Antonescu. He was the military dictator and leader of the Iron Guard, the only political party in Romania during the war until it switched sides in 1944, joining the Soviets. He was a pro-Romanian nationalist. He wanted to fight the Hungarians and get back part of Transylvania. He did take chunks of the Soviet Union and incorporate them back into Romania during the initial sort of phase of Operation Barbarossa. The Romanians operated in the south mostly, or I should say exclusively. They went to Odessa, the Crimea, the Caucasus, towards the Maikop and Stalino for the oil fields down there. And of course, famously, they were guarding the northern and southern flanks along with the Hungarians and the Italians of Stalingrad, while the German Sixth Army themselves were in there. But for the equipment that they had and the things, the way that things were going, I think the Romanians did rather well. Of course, when the writing was on the wall there in 1943 after Stalingrad, there wasn't really much else for them to do except sort of hold on and wait, hope for the best, I guess. But eventually King Michael did end up leaving Romania, I think in 1947, and then after Ceausescu was killed, he went back in 1989. I'm going to start with the infantry, which is the backbone of any bolt-action army that I play. So here I've got 4 10-man sections. They're all identical. And the redundancy is pretty handy when you're playing, so you know which each unit has without even really having to think about it. So we'll start off with this unit here just to show you. Okay, we've got the NCO. He's got an SMG. In this case, it's a Beretta. And we've got the LMG guy here. We've got a loader. You can see the little ammo packs there. We've got a guy with a Panzerfaust, and we've got another guy with an SMG, and the rest of them are rifles. So, you know, the figures are all different. Some of them got helmets, some of them have caps, as you can see, and bedrolls and things like that. But basically, each section is exactly the same. And then in the front here, we've got what I'm going to be using is for my officer. We've got this guy here. He's pulling his pistol, and he's got a buddy there with an SMG too. So it gives them both tough fighters, which might come in handy if they get into a bit of a kerfuffle with some enemy troops. Here we have the forward observer team as they're sold by Great Escape Games, but I'm going to be using them for spotters, for the artillery and things like that. And then this guy with the map, I'm going to maybe we'll move this move these guys out of the way so you can see the dude with the map. Bring him up in the front here. The guy with the map here, if I get a chance to use as an artillery observer, I'll be using this guy. And then finally, we have the medic. Let me just move him over so you can see him here. The medic, he's running through some scrub and things like that you'd find on the Caucasus to go help out some wounded comrade of his. So these are the infantry. This is the backbone. There's a quick count. There's 46 models there. Whoops. 46 models. I won't be using them all in my 1,000-point army. I could, but I'll get to my 1,000-point list at the very, very end of the video. So I'll take some photos here and we'll move on. Here's some of the weapon teams that I've made up for the army. First off, here we have a sniper and his buddy. There's some tall grass looking for Ivan here and there. Next to them, we've got an MMG team, 3-man team. And the rules of bolt action, the Romanians get the German MMG, so they get an extra shot, so they get 6 shots as opposed to 5. All different bases there, kind of a mishmash, but I think it looks pretty good. And then finally, I've done up a medium mortar here. We've got a 3-man crew, 2 guys with the actual ammo, and the other guy ready to yell fire. So I'll take some snaps of these guys, then we'll get on to the hardware. First up for the hardware here, we've got the PaK 9738. It's a 7.5 centimeter anti-tank gun. We got the guy there with the binoculars and Beretta. He's looking downfield, looking for a target. We got the guy ready to pull the cord. We got two guys with shells that they're going to load up. It's got this cool extra little wheel. They can manhandle it in the position and things like that. I thought that was kind of cool, like a big old tricycle. Next to that, we've got the PnzrIII Aus.N. This is from Tamiya. It's 1/48. I had tried to do some of the markings on it, but I decided not to. What I decided to do instead is make a little air power, sort of air observer recognition flag. So if I want to use it for the Germans, I just take that off, put a German one on there. It'll look okay. The one thing that wasn't too crazy about was the decals here. When I used the Vallejo clear coat, got this crusty stuff on the top here, so I don't really know what I'm going to do with that, but that's something I'll have to work on. But yeah, I did all the tools, all that kind of cool stuff, you know. It turned out pretty well. Again, don't look too at the tracks. I'm going to probably find a couple of my mistakes. There's one right there. I'm not a big fan of the Tamiya tracks at all. They're the worst part of the whole kit. Next to that, we've got a horse limber for 8 points. I'm going to be using this as inexperienced. These are actually Celtic Command horses from Warlord Games. They had some heads, I think, on the back that I chopped off. I made the limber just out of some, bits and pieces that were hanging around, and then I just put some baggage on them to sort of give them a World War II feel, I guess. It's not the best, but for 8 points, I just need it to lug on this monster here, which is a medium howitzer. This would be a 105 made by Krupp or Skoda. I think this is the Skoda version. Got a big old crew here. Every army needs, oops, sorry about that. Every army needs the ginger guy. So he's on the artillery crew here. We've got a guy, of course, with the binoculars. We got guys with the shells. We got the guys pulling the cord. And we got this cool little ammo cabinet. These are actually, this is made of resin. I would say that the instructions on Great Escape Games were really, really good. It was really easy to build. The bases I had to cut up myself, and it turned out pretty well. I made them, went Panzer Gray. I can use these for the Germans as well. Yeah, so a little bit of, thought went into making them useful for other armies as well. So I'll take some snaps of these guys, and then I'll show you the actual 1,000-point army that I built. Not using all the models, but it's a pretty good force, I think. The 1,000-point 12 dice Romanian army that I've built using the figures that I've painted. So we'll get started. Let's get started with the infantry, I guess. So first off here we have a regular squad, 10 men. We've got the SMG NCO here. We've got the LMG here. We've got a loader next to him, and we've got rounded off with 7 rifles. Next to them, we've got a same squad, same thing. We've got the SMG NCO here. We got an LMG here. There's a loader in. I think this is the loader right next to him, and then we've got 7 rifles. 10-man squad. 100. I think it's 123 points each. Next, then we have a 14-man squad. Pretty long, big squad there. A little bit of a conga line. We've got the NCO here with an SMG. We've got the LMG there, and then I'm sure there's a loader in here somewhere. I've had to use the 3 of the Panzerfaust models here, even though the army doesn't have Panzerfaust. I'm trying to keep it 1941-42 before they'd be using Fausts. Those guys will be end up being casualties number 1. So let's see, that would be 140, 160, 163 points for that. We've got a regular medium mortar here with a spotter, so that'll be 60 points. We've got a veteran sniper team coming in at 65. We've got the medic back here at 30. He's veteran as well. I think I've made the officer a veteran first lieutenant with an extra guy. They've got tough fighter. The PaK 9738 is free, which is always good. They have the special rules for the Romanians are they get the free artillery piece, and they can take 1 German unit if they want and put it in their army. I opted to just take the free artillery piece. We've got the MMG team, which I think I've mentioned for bolt action, that they get the extra shot for 50 points at regular. I've got a regular Panzerfaust Aus.N with the light howitzer, coax, and the bow machine gun there. Armor 9 with exceptions on the back. No Scherzen. Inexperienced horse limber here, 8 points I think came in at. And then we've got the medium howitzer here, 105 millimeter, we'll say Skoda. We got and I've got the spotter here with his little radio set, and we got the little ammo cart here. So this is the whole army that I'll be rocking one of these days. Hopefully, when I play a 1,000-point army, if my mates can come over and bring a Soviet army, that'd be wonderful. See if I can get them all in. That's it for me, guys. Hey, don't forget to select which army you think I should paint next, and I guess the one that has the most votes, I guess, is the one I'll endeavor to do, barring any kind of supply problems in Europe, or any strange fluctuations in currency, things like that. Also, tell me what you think of my new trees. I've had to make some new trees, so hopefully I'll be getting a game in next week. So I'll be using these trees. The other ones were looking pretty ratty. Anyways, guys, hope you have a good one, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Take care, guys. Thanks. Bye-bye.